fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
What's up, Salt Strong Nation? Joe Simons, like diamonds, unchurched. We are back. This is going to be one of the most powerful podcasts I've ever recorded because what I'm about to share with you literally changed and transformed my marriage over the past year. It has done it for multiple people who have tried what I'm going to ask you to do. And this is regardless if you're married right now, if you're dating someone you want to get married, or even if you're just going through a nasty divorce right now. I truly believe that this can change everything. It can literally take any relationship up to the next level and even heal relationships. I know because we did that. And let me just kind of go back in time a year. So about a year ago, it was just tough. If you can recall, that was like when COVID, so we're talking last May, COVID was now pretty serious. Things were in kind of lockdown mode. And so everything that we enjoyed about our lives from, just traveling, going to the beach and doing stuff was kind of off. And my wife was having to go back to work at that time because we're trying to, save money. I'm working like crazy to keep our company afloat. I mean, keep in mind that April, May, that was when everyone was freaking out and we all thought the world was ending. And we just had a lot of tension and a lot of stress in our relationship. And with 3 young kids, it compounds all of that big time. And we honestly just weren't talking much. Like we just had too much going on in life in terms of a relationship. It hadn't failed, but it was certainly like just on the back burner. Everything else was at the front of just survival mode and keeping kids happy who are out of school and just all that stuff. And so there was like zero relationship going on. And I felt horrible. I know she felt horrible. And to make matters worse, I am the least romantic person in the world. And I say that somewhat laughingly, but I'm bad about it. And it's something I'm always constantly trying to work on. I never understood why people liked cards. I hate cards, so don't ever buy me a card. I think it's just a waste of $4, whatever they charge for cards. But I understand why people do like them. And same with flowers, right? Obviously, I don't want people buying me flowers, but I know that my wife now really appreciates it, especially after going for multiple years without me buying any flowers. But then again, just imagine how special it is when they actually do show up. That usually doesn't work as well. But at any rate, I'm always bad. And I'm really good, however, with doing small little surprises, throughout the year. But when it comes down to like the big days like Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, I fail. Like I literally bomb. And so it was Mother's Day last year, and we actually got away to the family condo for the weekend, and it's like Saturday evening, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even get her card. I got literally nothing. We've been on the boat all day. And so I rushed to Publix before it closes and, get a card and a, box of chocolate. It was something boring and very last minute. She knew what I was doing when I said, oh yeah, I forgot someone to go to Publix. I don't know, it's just shameful, honestly. And it just didn't help with all the other stuff going on. And so at that point I was like, all right, I have to make some change. I got to do something big for this relationship. I'm the one screwing up here. I can't blame on anyone else. I got to take some ownership. And so just prior to that, this is where the story gets good. So just prior to that Mother's Day, I was reading a book on Audible called The Compound Effect. The guy's name is Darren Hardy. Fantastic book. So I got this book because it's a business book. It's all about using the compound effect. If you know what that is, you've probably heard of compounding interest with money. It's using the compound effect in business, creating good habits, doing things over and over again that work and stop being distracted by the bright, shiny objects, et cetera. Same with the fishing, right? We always talk about, hey, stick with what works. Don't just keep chasing all the crazy stuff out there. And so I'm reading this book really for some business tactics. And I don't know, it was like halfway through the book, he starts going into like relationship stuff. And I'm like, I was literally about to skip it. Cause at the time, like, my relationship wasn't the best and I just didn't even hear about it. I was like, I just want some business stuff. But I kept listening, and Darren in the book shares something that literally transformed his marriage and even saved his marriage and saved one of his best friend's marriage. So I just maybe like the reason you're listening to this, it kind of perked my ears up. I was like, all right, I kind of want to know what he did. And I guess a good analogy before I share what it is, anytime that you write goals down, there's been countless books and even some movies like The Secret based on you saying things over and over again and almost like transforming your mind into believing something. The whole fake it until you make it. It's Think and Grow Rich is another book that's one of the top selling business books of all time, and the whole thing is about thinking and obsessing over some thought or something that you want to happen or some place that you want to be or some person you want to be with, and over time that thing almost magically kind of comes into your life just like you imagine it. And this has happened to me countless times, especially when I write it down. So it's using this power of, it's basically messing with your subconscious mind to almost fool it into either believing something or just manifesting something into your life. So the compound effect and how it ties in with what I'm about to share with you all started making sense when he said what he did. And he says, all right, so I decided for 1 year, 365 days, I was going to get a little journal, something that cost $3.97, just a small little journal. And I was going to write one thing about my wife that I loved or was appreciative about her. And it could be something as simple as, something you love that she cooks, or how awesome she is, with her friends, or just, how generous she is with her time at church or synagogue or whatever it is. It could be anything that you're grateful for and something that you think is special about her and that you love about her. And so he did this for an entire year, and he said about 3 months into it, and he hadn't changed anything else about his relationship at the time, in terms of he hadn't gone out and done extra dates and traveled the world and done anything crazy. It was just business as usual. And his wife started saying things that she kind of noticed like a change, that things were getting better. And he was almost like pinching himself because this was a secret. He did not tell her about this journal that he'd been writing for the past 3 months, where he once again wrote just one thing. It could be one sentence, it could be a paragraph, just depending on the day, but just one thing that he loved about her, appreciated about her. And over time, over this, this course of this year, their entire marriage gets transformed. She still doesn't know about it until he hit the 1 year and gave it to her. But that entire time, she's even telling her friends, like, man, yeah, our marriage is just, it so much has changed. And ironically, he hadn't done anything else. Like, he literally was just the same person. Yet what happened, the whole manifestation, is he was writing that something lovely about his wife, something he loved and appreciated every single day. And it's so tough to explain because I just went through it. But I don't know, your whole love language just completely changes the way you look at your wife, the things that you say to her, fewer arguments and fights. All that stuff just started completely changing, completely like subconscious changing. It wasn't like, hey, I made a decision to do this. It was almost like you were fooling your brain, which seems absolutely crazy, but I know it works because I just finished the 1 year. So back to the original story, it's Mother's Day. I completely failed last year. And that was the day I said, you know what? I'm going to get a journal. So I went and bought a journal that day. $3.97, a little store there in Placida, Florida. And I started writing down one thing that I loved about my wife. And I'm going to be honest with you, because you might be thinking this as well, whether you're male or female. I was like, how am I going to write 365 things? It seems daunting. But that's also kind of part of the problem, right? We could probably find 365 things we like about ourselves or other people that we want to be like, right? Or other goals that we have. And yet the person that you're married to or you want to get married to, you're in a long-term relationship with, if that's the first thought that comes into your head, yeah, maybe you need this. I know, because that was me. I was literally kind of curious. It's like, all right, how am I going to possibly do this for 365 days? Because it needs to be something new and unique and different every single day for 365 days. So I start doing this, and obviously keep it completely quiet. This is super secret. No one knows about it. And I'm taking this thing on vacation. I've been on multiple trips where we went filming, for Salt Strong, and I'm literally having to take this with me everywhere. My wife and I went on a couple little excursions just for a weekend, and I'm kind of having to hide it from her and wake up early and start writing in there. And I did it every single day for 365 days. And here's what happened. The first month or so, not too much. I was kind of excited and giddy about it, but nothing really happened. And then it was very similar to Darren's. I felt like it was like that 3-month mark, like things just started changing. My attitude towards her changed. What Darren says, he's like, I literally just fell in love with her all over again. I started seeing everything awesome about his wife instead of all the little nitpicky things that you don't like. Hey, she, leaves her toothpaste top off, or, just the stuff that we do over time in any relationship. We have a choice. We can either look at all the positive stuff, or we can look at the negative stuff. And by doing this, especially the first thing in the morning, it was literally the first thing I did every single morning. I started my day thinking about her instead of all the other stuff that was going on in my life. I mean, just that subtle thing right there of starting the day and writing about your spouse. Wow, it could change absolutely everything. And it did for me. So once again, I don't know, I'm going to say 3 months, 90 days. That was when I started noticing the change more in me than her, but it impacted the whole relationship. And I wanted to do more things for her. I wanted to do more little surprises. I felt like I was falling all in love all over again. And that was really, really cool, because for a lot of us, especially if you've been married, it could be 3 years, 10 years. I'm at year 12 now. Sometimes the stuff can get a little stale in terms of relationship, especially when you got young kids and jobs and just all the stuff getting on. It's tough to kind of revive it sometimes. And I'm telling you, this one little thing of just waking up in the morning and writing even just a sentence of something you love and appreciate about your spouse, it will change everything. And so now, fast forward, it just happened. Mother's Day just happened here recently. And I did it. I literally did it every single day. And the very last day, I took like a whole page and just shared, I don't know, just some of my favorite moments and kind of the lessons learned on it. And I presented it to her on Mother's Day, and I'm crying. She's kind of tearing up. Definitely said, like, this is the best gift I've ever received in my entire life. And I've bought my wife some pretty cool stuff over the years. But how awesome is that? I mean, literally the best gift ever. And it just took a little bit of my time every single day. And honestly, probably no more than like 6-7 minutes. Some days it was just a couple minutes, just writing a quick little sentence. So if you can't give your spouse, let's just say 7 to 10 minutes every day, there probably is something wrong. And I know, because a lot of us are like that. It's like, it's almost like they come last at the end of the day. Hey, if we have any time, maybe we'll sit down or we'll talk in bed and catch up for the day. Start your day off putting them first, even if it's just for 7-10 minutes, writing something down you love about them. And what was really neat is we were sitting there in bed, and I look over and she's kind of off to the side, and she's reading this stuff and smiling and laughing out loud. Just some of the things that I've written in there, and she's reading it now like a book. I mean, it's quite thick. I mean, it's a lot of pages now after 365 days, and she's kind of reading it like a book and highlighting stuff. And I mean, literally, it made her day, made my day. And now she's like, all right, I gotta do something like this, for you. And so I don't know, just so cool. I mean, literally changed our relationship with something so simple, and how it just all manifested was just, I mean, it's crazy. It's unexplainable what your brain can do when you kind of rewire it. And obviously the compound effect, the name of the book, that's what it's all about. I mean, you're just using the compound effect all towards the love of your life, about writing something you like about them or love about them or appreciate them. And all of a sudden, boom, things start changing. And just like it's tough to explain the compound effect to someone when you've done something, you see a massive change or a transformation in someone's life. It's also tough to explain it, but I'm telling you, it works. Try it out today. Even just try it for 90 days. It's not going to I don't think it's going to do that much if you just do it for a week or a month. But I think if you go 90 days, that was when I started seeing some pretty big changes. And I think once you get there, it's kind of addicting. Like, all right, I want to keep doing it. And just imagine the smile and the look on your spouse's face if you do this for a year and present it to them. It will be the best gift they've ever received. It's something they can have, for forever. Something that your kids can look back one day and say, wow, man, my dad or my mom really, really loved each other. I mean, how awesome is that? So I wanted to share that with you. I challenge you to start today or start the next, birthday, holiday, whatever it is. It could just be some random time that you wanted to pick. It happened to be Mother's Day for me because I completely bombed my Mother's Day in 2020, and I wanted to make up for it and have the absolute best gift ever. And then really it just comes down to giving a little bit of my time, and it ended up being really, really amazing for me because I really did. I as he said, I think he says I fell deeply in love with her all over again, which is really, really awesome. So guys, that's it. Hit me up if you have any questions on if I left anything out. I'd love to hear from you, joe@saltstrong.com. Pow!
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul. It was passed down to me from the days of old. To find us on the water, if there was a way. It's been said my papa, he wrote the book on catching big reds and 20-pound snook. I wish I knew all the things he knew today. In our souls to stay.